Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 18th of January 1968. And I want to start with an apology for having the date move forward so far, and the reason for that is that I actually recorded the gameplay from the middle of the harvest in 1967 through to, well, I think it was about the 10th or 11th of January. What actually happened was I actually forgot to switch on the recording software, so I did consider going back to a point where one of the autosaves was, and I thought, well, not that much happened in the way of new business, and therefore I thought what I'll do is I'll just pick up from here and give you an update of where things are. But before we get into that update, I'd like to say a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys did great in answering the question I posed in the previous video, which was to do with whether to build the construction train or buy one. And I think the general consensus is that it would probably be best to buy one of these construction trains. So what I want to do in this part, and we're going to have to spend a lot of money, is see if we can raise enough money to possibly buy this DKGU 5 crane. Now, I know it's not particularly that useful, but I think it'd be a good starter construction train, because one thing I don't really want to do is go massively into debt, but to buy one of these more expensive trains. And I think if I show you the speeds, you can see, I mean, this one would be great, the EDK 300, but I mean, to be honest, 643,000 is a lot of money, where I think this one is only got a construction speed of 17, but I think it will do good service in the beginning. And so that's what we're going to do going forward. Now, I did also get another comment related to starting to expand in the direction of oil. I suppose this would be quite a good point to give you an update. And what I've actually done through the winter is I've set the road crew in this area to push out this way and actually start tarmacking the road, because I think if we're going to get out here to get to the oil, we're going to need a certain amount of road speed to get out and get that done. And what I've actually done is something similar in this area, because the road crews were effectively running out of work. Done the same here with this road crew, and what they're going to do is push all the way out to here, because eventually we're going to have a new town in this area. Now, the biggest progress has been made in Colville. Can't remember what we've done now, sorry. I mean, in so many things. What I actually did was we finished the heating plant, but as you can see here, if I press F3, you see I wasn't really able to get the heating pipe finished, so we've had to go through another winter without using this fuel depot here, but it is kind of held up in its own way. We've also expanded the accommodation here, and one thing I want to do in this part is plan an extension to the town here. And because I had some spare capacity in the construction office here to do with the fact that these were waiting for steel, what I actually did is I kicked off the groundworks for the power plant, but you can see I've now suspended it because I didn't want to draw more steel away from more important jobs. So we've now actually completed the groundworks from the power station, which is going to be another priority project. I've also built this unloading bay for the steel mill. I think I've started doing the groundworks for the steel mill here. So I've used the winter to try and get some of the groundworks done in that area. Also, going back to the rail area, I built a distribution office here, which we're going to get the vehicles in, because what we're going to need to do is get I think it's the electronics or motherboard, begin with the prefabs and steel down into this to be able to start constructing the actual track. Now, probably the biggest change has been up here. What I've got up, we've actually completed the agro farm, and what I've actually done is bought 3 tractors here, and I've also completed all the roads around here and connected up all the fields. And what I've done with the field allocation is a tip from, was it Bill Bauer, when he said about his optimized farm. And what he suggests is that you allocate the medium fields first and then allocate big fields close after, so that in theory the tractor should go from the medium field to the big field and then eventually spiral out. So what I've actually done is I've set up that pattern here. Whether how it's gonna work is another matter. I think that covers most of what's been going on, because I haven't really changed much here in this starting area. Although I do really would like to get to work on this food factory here. And I think just to wind this section up, I'll just give you an update with the crops, because the actual harvest went pretty well. And I think it was only this field that wasn't actually harvested by the end of the season. And I think we lost about less than a quarter of this field. So we did quite well. But we are burning through the crops really quickly. You can see we've already emptied the crops from here. What I have got is a little bit of reserve here of 700. So hopefully we'll be able to get through to July. As you can see, we've got 400 tons in here at the moment. And I think we've got another 700 there. So what I've effectively done is empty these silos into this area here. So we're doing reasonably well on crops, but it is only the 24th of January. So getting this farm up and running is going to be pretty important. And what I've been thinking is that if I show you these here, what we're actually running is 6 tractors, 6 combines. And I can't remember what the stats for these combines are. So what we're going to need to check that, because what I want to do is get the same configuration up in this farm. But that means we're going to have to buy vehicles, which means that the money I would like to spend on the track layer, because we're going to need to get trucks up into here to actually be able to harvest the crops as well. But the first thing I want to do is come to here, and I just want to take a look at the actual vehicles they're harvesting. So year 22, year 30. So what I would like so we got the blue ones are the better ones. I just want to check in here, because I don't really want to move the blue ones out here, so we've only got 2 of those. So the idea is I'm going to pull out you and you from there. We're going to pick one of those over there and one of those over here. So the idea is we're going to create a kind of similar profile in each of the farms, and I'm hoping that will have it. So we're going to move that combine up to there, that combine up to there, that combine up to there, oops, and that one to there. So what that will do is put 4 of the red combines into there. And another reason why I've kind of gone for this option is that this is going to be a bit closer, so it's going to mean that I'm not going to be able to have to send all the combines up to there. So what we're going to do is put into here another red and another green. I think it's that green or blue. I can't into here in each of these. So that's going to cost us some money. But the first thing I need to do is we've got 389,000. We're going to need to buy another. I think it's. Let me just check. It is 3 tractors, isn't it? Let me just check. Really just got 3 tractors in here. So the first things first, I want to get the 3 tractors from here, which is sowing. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 of these. This is gonna be a painful process, but I can't think of any other way to do this. I think of all the things that I need to do at the moment is getting this farm set up and ready to go. It's probably the most important. I'm just going to add you to there. Oops. I think we're just going to speed the game up now. So what we're going to do is send the tractors up here. Now I can take a little bit of time before I buy the combines, but at the same time I do need some covered holes up here, and I've got these 2 here. And the other thing I also want to do now is I'm kind of thinking to split. Now I think we can do that later on, so there's no point worrying too much about that. These will probably be empty now. Yeah, they're just literally emptying out 0.8 tons. So what I should be able to do is switch this back to the. Gotta find it. This is the farmland one. I can never remember. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one. and we can switch you back to unload there, ready for the next harvesting season. This one should still be on unload. To move the crops from here over to here is doesn't take that long. I mean, it'd be great. I don't see if I could get an open hole into here, we could start bringing the prefabs into here, but I think at the moment there are no bridges here as such. So what we're going to do is we're just going to knock that back. Well, we'll have to jiggery pokery this later on, and I can't remember what the ratio between prefabs and, so if I can get an open hole here, we can start bringing the prefabs down to here. I'm not going to put any materials in here. I'm not going to put any materials into here at the moment because it's just going to be a distraction. And I think that is where we are at the moment. So what I need to do is as you may guess, that I'm actually stalling a little bit here with respect to doing anything, because I'm waiting for the snow to go, because what I would like to do is plan a area here. Now, one comment I did get, not so much on this series but actually on the Four Corners series, is my emphasis on here and the fact I repeat. And I'll be honest that I'll be completely honest, sometimes when you're playing city building games, and especially when the pace is very slow, it gets very difficult to find things to talk about. I know it seems odd, but it does happen. I just want to check here. So what are these guys actually building? You can see how close the heating plant is. We've got the coal score, we've got there. The other thing I've also been set up was this warehouse here. This is like a bit of a bonus build. Again, similar to when I built here. But I think if we can get this, but I really want this. I don't want to kind of push the power plant until this is built, because I can almost guarantee it's going to be waiting for us. Yeah, we literally need 8.2 tons of steel, so we're just going to let that grind through. And then the idea is that once this pipeline's finished, and of course we need to think about the grain silo over there, the next big priority job is going to be the power station, but it means we're going to have to connect up all this stuff here. And of course we also need, it would be great also to get the conveyor connections in. I think I've allocated this conveyor as well, because mainly because I think if I can get this up and running, this distribution office there can then deliver coal to here, which one will mean that we can enhance our coal production here, but also it will mean that we'll build up a bit of a stockpile here to drive the heating plant through the next winter. The only slight mistake I made here was down to the fact that I'm using minibuses to bring the workforce out to here, but I don't think that was one of my better ideas. I just don't want those concrete mixers. Oh, they should be working on the bus stop. I can't remember which bus stop. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, I think they just need some materials. So overall, let's just get back over to here. And I didn't check how well. I mean, most of the other infrastructure around here is actually being set up. Again, the kind of limiting factor is steel, although we do need a bit of concrete as well. I have got fuel in here, and I'm a bit reluctant at the moment to put fuel into the farm, because we were struggling a little bit from a fuel perspective. We'll just check. Yeah, you can see we're currently just kind of hanging in there with respect to fuel. Now, part of the reason for that is that this heating plant is pulling a lot of the fuel away, because it's because I've actually expanded this area. You can see here that the old delivery trucks are struggling now to get the fuel in here. But the idea is that once this pipeline's finished and we got the heating plant working and we're actually heating this area, then I'm going to decommission this heating plant. And what that would do is, if you think about it, this consumes 2 tons of fuel a day. that will make quite a big difference to the amount of fuel we're consuming on the overall economy. Now, population-wise, we're doing okay. We've actually managed to reduce the level of number over 21s a little bit, and that's due to the fact that this building is now up and running. But you can see we still got a few issues with it. But I think it should work out okay. Just want to check. I mean, we've got a very highly educated workforce, and of course we've got no loyalty. I mean, one of my main concerns for this series is that when we get to October and the new loyalty mechanic comes in, it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen with the fact we got no loyalty. And it'd be pretty dramatic if everyone starts to leave because they're disloyal. So what I'm really hoping is that by the time that update comes out and is delivered into the stable branch, I'm not going to be doing anything with it in the test branch, that we'll have a strong enough economy to be able to build the necessary buildings very quickly. Well, that's the theory anyway. We just noticed there's another new vehicle coming. I just want to check because they are coming in quite quick, thick and fast now. Did we just see here? Because I am interested in buses. We actually, that's the new bus there, 68. It's coming. It's actually got 55 passengers, 80 kilometers an hour. That's not bad actually. Quick look here. Right, we're up to 384,000 at the moment. I'm not going to rush to buy the harvesters. I just want that bit of cash to build up a little bit now. So we've now got this area here. We're in the green, and what I want to do is plan this area here. Now, what I'm thinking for here is I want some more modern buildings, but I don't want the really big tower blocks. What I would like is tower blocks that have a reasonable population, but at the same time they're not, you know, really big with hundreds of people in them, because I don't want it to be really that big. It's just, I mean, I haven't looked at these here. I mean, we got anything. Whoops. The only thing I don't really like about the buildings that come in the vanilla is the fact that you've got all these road connections, which makes putting the road in very, very messy. I mean, this has got 179 people, and this has got 189, but they've got these multiple road connections. 127, but that's kind of less than this. I think we will go with mods. I just like, because I'll be honest, I'll be honest, I just really like the footpath connections. See, this is 152. This is 231. That's, maybe that's a little bit kind of too dominant. See if we can find something else in here. What I'm looking for is something around, not too high, that's compatible with these buildings and not massive, you know, containing a massive population. I'm trying to break myself of the habit of building really large buildings with lots and lots of population in it. We've got a project here, 139. If I could get something around, say, a population of 100, oh, there's 170 there. I don't know. We put in a, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's compatible in height. It's 170. No, maybe we'll go a little bit more upmarket. Maybe 200 brick. That's a 165. 314, 48. What we got here? Corner story building. Oh, wow. That's impressive. Let's have a look here. 60, 90, 114. No, I think we'll go back to the buildings that we were looking at originally. 150. I think this Now that's not going to be too bad. It's a little bit long onto the length of that road, but I think we could cheat. I mean, we could put them this way. We could have a, say, something like that. Now I want to space them out a reasonable amount. So, because, no. I think we are back to here. Got 377 workers. I think we're back to these, to be honest. So we're going to have to represent the 60s in tower blocks. And what I would like to do, I'm just going to put on the wireframe. And we're going 1. And kind of just moving forward a little. Now we could probably get a 2, 3, 4 there. Maybe we'll get 1 just about there. 2, maybe we'll just offset you a little bit there. We effectively, what we're getting is a kind of double row of flats through here, and we'll now put a gravel road, and we'll get that built. Be nice to put a footpath across there. I think what I will do, if I could get, let me just see, if we get a footpath there, well that won't connect to there, so probably have to come in and connect you to there, and then what we'll do is split this into 3 sections. Actually, we'll build that first, because I think before we put footpaths into this section, I think I'd probably like to asphalt that through there. So this is going to be the core of our town, the tower blocks behind, and then we're going to expand out in that direction with more facilities. Hopefully this will get picked up. Yeah, the Colville Road crews pick this up, although they're probably going to be struggling a little bit because we've got this massive road out here. But I mean, I'd like to build this up at the same time. I don't really want to commit too much. We're still kind of floundering with this here. We're down to 3.1 tons, so we're nearly there. And we've got past the 400,000 now. We've now got the ploughing going here. You can see what the efficiency is, that these have been done and these are ploughing out now. This is going reasonably okay. This needs 61 tons of steel. Now, what did happen is that the road crews picked these bridges up, but I've actually knocked that on the head because I don't want them wasting effort building these bridges just at the moment. We do need to plan a new town out here, but again, at the moment, I just don't really want to get into that. Maybe when the road out here has been built out to the point where I think they got to cut out as far as here, I think. Yeah, so they're actually asphalting out here now quite nicely. When this road is built, we'll then work on putting together the small kind of farming community here. I think we're at a point now where we've got some money. And what was it now? We need 4 combines for this area. Actually, I just had a thought. What I'm going to do is, no, don't want you. I'm going to send him out to, what's that there? Like we got, it's like I've got a bit of a graphics glitch here. Right, we're just going to send by the faster combines now. Where is it? Harvesting 32,000 each. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be painful. Just going to get you into there. You into there. Now this faster harvesting speed, in theory, should solve the problem of getting all the crops into this area. So that gives me there, and all we need is 2 combines in here. Now the harvesting out here would be a bit slower to start with, because obviously the faster combines are down here, but this is the closer area. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to get enough from here over time. Actually, I think what I will do is we're just gonna pick up a covered hole. We're gonna have to get one that's gonna cost me 39,000. Wow, that's 8 tons. This is the 10-ton one. The question is, which would be the most efficient? The 10-ton truck carries 62 kilometers an hour, or the 8-ton truck at 88 kilometers an hour. But then again, I've got lots of gravel roads, so I think we'll just buy you. Wow, so painful, so painful. But I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. Just going to put you there. And what I'd like to do is, as far as I know, I've got nearly 20 fields here. So I think if what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now I've got to leave one space because we obviously got to put in the drop-off point. So what I want to do is just have these overlapping, and then what I'll do is similar to what I've done over here, is once the harvest is in, I'll flip one as a drop-off point. So this one here will only have 18 fields allocated to it, and then they'll be both overlapping. That's the theory anyway. So I think this guy is just about to arrive. Yeah, thank you. Of course, he's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think we'll go 17 and 18 there. And then what I'd like to do is set this as a drop-off point, and we'll set you at 90%. We've got to ensure that we get a supply of crops down to here for food rather than fuel. At the moment we're still doing good. We're on the 31st of March and things are looking reasonably well. Now I'm putting all this in, but we need to build this, and we still need 55 tons of steel in this area. So I've got to let the jobs run down in order to ensure that we don't get anything here. It's a real pain in the neck. So we're kind of half wasting our resources at the moment. You just need to love 11 tons of asphalt. So if we can get this built, we can then start to switch our attention to kind of asphalting in this area here. I really should have done that a little while ago. So we're still kind of pulling in the steel here. It's a little bit disappointing that this still hasn't finished. How close are you? You need 0.83 tons of steel. It's going to get there. I mean, how is my steel production going? Of course, these are now full up and ready to go. I think there's still, iron. I think part of the problem with the iron is the fact that we are getting queues at the border here now, which is slowing things up a little bit. How are you doing for jobs? Yeah, so as soon as he finishes that heating plant, there we are. The heating plant is now done. Right. And what that means is that we can, how much fuel have we got in here? Right. Colville heating plants. Where are you? I want to remove you from the list now, because our main heating plant here will take over now. You can see here straight away is now full up. We don't have, at the moment, we don't have any drain on this. And I'm guessing what will happen is I think for the moment we'll just let that fuel run down, because I can't think of any other way of getting that out. So we're just going to let that fuel run away. And then once this is empty, I'll shut the heating plant down. And what that should do is improve our fuel situation now, because we won't be sending trucks down to here to get the fuel built. Actually, I just had a thought. I think I've got the road out to here now, and we've got this gas station's 4 tons. This doesn't need. So I think what we can do is to start to work on our new kind of expansion construction office out here. You can work on that, because that doesn't need any steel. How are you guys doing? You need another 51 tons of asphalt. I mean, I'd like to really asphalt this way out here, but I mean, we are getting a fairly steady income now from, I think most of it is coal. See here, a big proportion is coal, and these are the big ones. And of course we are exporting alcohol. Alcohol is always a good one. And I think you can see here that alcohol, 32,000 from alcohol, 30,000 from coal. So that is going to make quite a big difference. I'm just trying to see if there's, how much steel do you need? I think what we could do is I just don't like the idea of these guys kind of just sat here doing nothing. So, and we're going to need to we're going to get the power plant up online. We're going to need to bring in these connections here. So what we could do is start working on these areas here. Right. What I am going to do is shut you down for the moment, because you finished your groundworks. What have we got here? Yes. Actually, we could build that. No, I'm not going to. This needs 7 tons of steel, so I think it's going to be quite important to run these jobs down so that we can keep things going. I'm still a bit worried about these minibuses. I'm not sure that they're going to be enough to keep anything going. But at the same time, I think with a workforce of 30, it's going to be a bit difficult to put a big bus on this. I mean, what will happen is once the coal-fired power station comes online, then I'll use the minibuses for other uses and then switch back there. Right, how are you guys going? Right, we've got the rolly guy going there, so what we're going to do is get you through there. Got a new vehicle type. Oh no, I don't want to close that off, so we'll just build that through there. I'd like to get, if possible, a path connection from there to there. Get that built, and possibly one from the back of here to here. I think we're probably too. Ooh, that's going to be naughty. But I think we can do it. But that little bit there is going to have to be assigned to. Probably all these are going to need to be assigned to this office, because that bit there definitely is too short for the road construction crew. if we can, and what I can do then is actually I could probably do it now actually, and we're gonna run a footpath right up over a little bit, kind of through the center like that, and then that's a bit too far. Take you back a little bit. We'll bring you round to there. Oops, it. And we'll build the footpath up through the center there. And then when these are finished, we can do the cross connections here, so that we've got a bit of a grid going, which will connect these in. In fact, I'll probably asphalt this before we do that connection. Well, if we get these built, we can start then connecting in here, because technically this building here, this one here is connected, isn't it? So what we could do is, you guys don't, again, you've got a little bit of there, but you've only got a footpath and then the voltage switch. So I think you can start working on the groundworks for this. And then what we'll probably do is build this way, but we're going to need to make sure, we need some ambulances there. How are we doing up over here on the 24th of April? 46 tons of steel. I mean, it's going to be a real pain if I have to send the covered holes from here. I've got to come all the way down to here to drop off the crops and when the harvest starts. Let's just check here. We need another 2 combines here, and we're on April, but we're okay at the moment. It'll probably take a couple of weeks to get from the border post up to here to deliver the vehicles, but I mean, this one looks okay. It's almost like this is a covered one with like areas. Yeah, if you look at this, you can see that the graphics have gone a bit wonky, because the building is flattened out here. So I'm assuming that there's meant to be a building here like this, and what's happened is this is actually flattened out across the gravel area. But that's the way it goes. I'm not going to knock it down now. I need it. Just check here. Right. We're just going to let this guy focus totally on this construction office. Just see whether that changed. We're still kind of playing a little bit of catch up here, and looks like this guy's actually got a bit of a problem with the fuel now. We're only in April, so we're going to need to, I think we're going to have to, what are you? Pump this up. Have to find it. I think I reduced it down to 49%. It's back up to 90. We gone through this? Yes. Wow. Okay, we've got a potential problem now with fuel, because we can't run on fumes. They're here, so we're going to need to. Wow, I hadn't realised we'd gone through so much in the way of crops. What we're going to need to do is we're going to have to buy a covered hole. In fact, I'm going to buy 2 covered holes. These ones probably will benefit from the speed, so we're going to get 2 of those. We're going to have to import crops whether we like it or not. We can't afford to run out of fuel. Buy fuel, unload fuel. Crops, not fuel. Crops. You're going to have to be exactly the same. It's going to be painful, but there's not much I can do about it. This bounding box, it can be a real pain sometimes. There's no point setting it to wait until unloaded, because that's never going to keep up. We can get 2 deliveries a day. I mean, we should have enough fuel in this areas here. Yeah, we got enough kind of scattered around to kind of offset the worst of the worst. Right, this guy's empty. Shut you down. We don't need you anymore. We've got plenty of supplies, various supplies in this area. I mean, we only need 0.16 now, so we might as well finish this warehouse off. So, I mean, it's not going to be much use to begin with, but I think eventually it's going to be useful because we will be bringing food and various items in by train. So, and this will be a fairly large town, so this will need that support. And we've got gravel here. Gravel's good. Right, what are you working on? I think at the moment, while we're building the silo, we're just going to let these guys catch up on something. We've got a new vehicle available. It's probably going to cost me an arm and a leg. Of course, all these guys are going to be waiting for steel. You need 6.1 tons. How many tons of steel do we need over here? You need 42 tons. So we are kind of running into the main process. How are we doing? Make sure. Yeah, we're in what you could call just-in-time mode now, which we're going to have to kind of try and keep things going. Get the road crew here because they're on 88%, which means this road is probably being rolled. And what I would like to do is, I think I'd like to start filling in some of these roads as well, so we can put that in there. Yeah, so yeah, we've got the roller on this section of road here, so we can. And I think for the moment, we're just going to call you guys in. And I was actually thinking about planning out here, and what I'm considering is that actually, let's do it. Is I can plan the road into here. I want to put a road in, say about here, like that. And we're going to build that first, and then what we're going to have is like the small town here. But because this is, if I show you the terrain, so what we're probably thinking is a town coming in round here, so that we can have meat production up in this area. Well, that's the idea anyway. So we'll get that put up. This should be. We'll allocate you to knife edge crew, and you can start building that in. I think I have to go for it here. I'll buy the 2 combines. It's gonna be so painful. I'm gonna put you up into here. Yeah, I mean, this is just in case I forget. Of course, we're not making the money because of the what we call it, the fact that we've got to import crops, which is going to impact my money here. It doesn't take much to start reducing our income. So we could be running into a perfect storm here. Because at the moment we've got just 2 small trucks here. I think what I am going to do is we've got this depot here, and we're going to pick out 3 from here. I'm going to pick out 3 of you, and I think probably you're going to be more effective up here than back down there, because if you think about it, we've got multiple layers of vehicle pickup here, because we've got some support from this distribution office. We've got 2 distribution offices over here of 5, and we've got this distribution office as well. So I think having the covered holes up here picking up through this farming area here will probably be more effective than just going to keep 38 tons of steel. It's going to be a close run thing. You've got, what are you? You're the busy bee. I think we'll put you into there for the moment. I know I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Can I pull? These are open holes. How many covered holes have I got in here? Got 1, 2. So where are you? Right. I mean, in some ways this is an opportunity to reorganize my trucks, so I think we can pull you back to here. That just leaves me with the 1 covered hole here, but that's okay. I'm comfortable with that just at the moment. Can I pull a covered hole out of the other construction office at the moment? I have a covered hole in here. What have we got here? Grapple. What have we got? I mean, this guy only carries 2.4 tons, so when we got these 2 trucks, which I can once we hit July, those 2 trucks can be sent somewhere. We got a spare slot there. We've got 2 trucks in here, 3 trucks in there. So technically we could put in another 2 trucks up here. 4 tons of steel. Kind of thinking that I don't really have much choice but to cut some of the. I mean, this is only 1.3 tons of steel. 9.2. The annoying thing is, if I kind of turn these off, I could lose resources. So I think we're just gonna have to stick with it and see how it goes. I think what I am gonna do is, I think I've already set this one to deliver, haven't I? Knife's edge. So these guys have got at least somewhere to deliver. And this place is probably a little bit closer, so if I get you to deliver there, and you can unload 90%. So that would just be a backup delivery should we need it. In fact, what field has you been assigned to? This big field 11. I'm just going to take off big field 11 here. I can find it. Where's big field 11? There it is. I'm going to remove big field 11 so that I've got a spare slot. So if this comes online straight away, I can allocate it. So now what we're doing is actually playing the waiting game. This needs 3.9 tons of steel. Yeah, I think we're going to stop the production here because this is waiting for steel as well. I know it's going to affect the population, but I think that is something that we're going to need to consider. Right, this road is built on the... yep, and these guys have got absolutely nothing to do, so we're going to asphalt you through there. And then just to kind of give these guys something to do as well. We're just going to go through there. You've got a connection from there to there. Go in. And then eventually we could come from here to here. Actually, oh, I thought there was a gap in the footpath and it's actually the tree. I think we're you through there. You through there as well. We can just build the footpath infrastructure through here at the moment. Right, we've now built this, and that's finished. And there's a power line through here that needs to be connected, but that's not a high priority because that shouldn't take much to build because this only needs 4.9 tons of steel, and this we've got the connection to here because we've connected through to there. So when the power station's ready to go, we can just connect up this through here. Back to 290,000, but look at our imports. It's not costing us that much in the way of crops. And as long as it's kind of keeping us ticking over, I'm quite happy with that. We just come here. You're working on this road up here, aren't you? Okay, good. And we've got the asphalt guy here waiting for deliveries. That's good. I do keep looking at this from time to time. Part of me says that this really needs to be tidied up, but that will come over time. Well, trees. This is running out of trees. You can see the circle here. So we're certainly going to need to get some trees into here. How about over here? This is getting deforested. Of course, we need to keep this heating plant going for the moment. Well, we've had a fire as well. What's that? That was local. That's okay. Yeah, let's have a quick check here. Where's the wood cutting post? Yeah, this was getting a bit dire. You can see the perfect curve of the edge of the wood cutting here. So we need to keep an eye on that. I am thinking possibly putting a wood cutting plant out here so that we can move some board production out to here, so that we won't have to haul the boards all the way out to here as we expand in this direction. Because we do need, just to show you, if I pull this up, you can see we've got a massive amount of coal in this area. This is going to be a major feeder town, or I think I'm planning on putting the iron here. But what we may need to have is an iron town out here. What we're most likely will have to do is bring in the coal and the iron with conveyors, so that we'll have effectively 2 steel mills here with the town. Although it's not flat, so it could be a bit of an issue. And of course, on the wider scheme of things, we need to get out to here to get this oil online. I think the other oil is way. But we are making progress. But you can see we're at the moment we're only out to here. This is still no mechanism, so that's okay. What we got here? It'd be nice to build that. We're on the 17th of June now, and I've just noticed that I'm running out of time on this video, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. I'll probably play on to the end of June, and then that's where we're going to pick it up with the race between the construction crews to get the silo built. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.